you very much for the introduction, Steven. Today I'm going to talk about a way to integrate photos into source code editor in the development environment. So these days, we can buy robots with many degrees of freedom, or use a Connect by Microsoft device to detect human posture. And in both cases, we have to deal with posture data, which is an array of numeric values, representing positions or angles of each joint. However, as you can see, such raw values cannot be represented well in textual or symbolic representations. So we address these problems by proposing Picode, a text-based development environment augmented with inline photos of human and robots. The overview of the Picode IDE is shown in the slide. A text editor augmented with inline photos are shown on the left pane, while the pose library that contains a collection of photos of human and robots bound with pose data is shown in the right pane. And with Picode, the programmer's workflow really starts with taking a photo of a robot or human. And when he takes a photo, the system binds it with posture data and stores it in the library. And after that, the programmer can start writing code, and he can drag and drop photos directly from the pose library to the code editor. And once he is satisfied with the program code, he can just run the program by clicking the run button shown in the left top. And so there is no need for linking special libraries, since everything needed is integrated in this development environment. So from now on, I'm showing a very simple demonstration of the environment. Just switch to the mirroring mode. So this is the environment. So you can see this is a very simple source code, and actually there is already a photo. So now on the right pane, it shows the human posture. So I just click this robot button to switch to the robot mode, and click this capture button to show the window with the preview. And it shows the robot here. And so at this moment, I can just immediately click this capture button to capture a new posture, which is stored in this library like this. And I can change the posture of the robot by just a programming example like this. And then I click this capture button again to store a new pose. And then it poses are all saved in this library, so I can just start coding. But I just don't code since I don't have time. I just drag and drop this photo to this existing photos, and it just replaces the posture data. And so I think it's done. If the flag is true, the robot hand will be raised, and otherwise it will be going down. So I just click this run button, and then, as you can see, the robot is hitting the poor Kuiper settings. So, I just go back to the. Oh, I think I have to stop the program. So now, as I've shown you, sorry. Right. So as I've shown you, Picode provides API that takes photos as its argument, and photos work as both input and output to a computer. So, for example, we can retrieve posture data and compare it against the one stored in the library. Or in the case of robots, we can set a robot posture with stored one. And in the case of robot output, we can also construct this kind of array of posture and some ways to play it as an action. So from now on, I'm explaining the related part on improving the code editors. First, Barista provides a framework to augment code editors with some visual representations. And in this figure, a method comment contains images of example input and output to make it more understandable. And the next related work is Picode, which allows novice users to take a screenshot of grid elements and paste them directly into the code editor to automate the operations. So our work applies a very similar approach, but for the applications that handle human and robot postures. To make the contributions clear, the difference against previous work is summarized in this slide. So Barista doesn't have any connection between the image and the code. Actually, here, in this example, the image is completely ignored at the compilation time. And secretly uses the image data as an argument to its API, which means the image is visualized as it is. And in our case, it's a bit more sophisticated. The poster data itself can be visualized as a mere bone shown in the left, but we actually made the system to bind it against the photo. So thus, the photo itself is ignored at the compilation process, but serves as a visual aid for the users. So for now, the question is why we're really using photos instead of mere poster data, and one of the answers is shown on this slide. So photos can contain environmental information such as what she is carrying, or in the middle image, what she is pointing at. So she can just do something like this poster or this part by just presenting his hand or hand. And so they can also actually contain an emotional period. Since it's a photo, this boy is really enjoying programming by a demonstration here. So it's really different from these raw values or raw mere visualization of data. And so two of the two reasons is shown here. It's the role as a communication medium. So with mere text data, text code, you just have to say the method name or a line of code to specify the location in the source code. But on the other hand, photos really stand out in the source code, so it's really easy to tell which one is which. And actually, they can also allow non-programmers to understand what the code is doing partially. So it involves non-programmers in the programming workflow. So we conducted a very preliminary study involving a pair of a programmer and non-programmer. And we asked them to use Picode for 2 hours together, and we found that non-programmer can take part in the development process by taking photos or replacing existing photos in the source code. And she even looked like feeling the ownership on the program and was really interested in programming and understood the code partially. So we think that it is a good starting point for learnable programming. As a conclusion, Picode provides integrated support for programming with poster data. It extends the source code editor with inline photos representing poster data. And photos can contain a richer context information compared to mere text data. It also works as a communication medium between people. So, thank you very much.
So we have time for just one question here. Just got a question. Have you considered using video as well for more complex posters?
We have the plan. Actually, we are developing this environment on GitHub, and actually it's on the to-do list, our issues. So, yeah. Thank you.
Great. Well, let's thank all of our speakers for this great session. Most of the speakers will be here afterwards if you have some extra